This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free. Oh, y'all can hear me. Hey, I'm echoing because I got my phone on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, now it should not be echoing. Something beeped. I lost my earring. So sorry. Okay, I'm coming. Let me put this earring back in. It's good to see y'all. Thank you so much for being here today. Miss Thane, what you needed is right here. Do you hear me? Yes, right there. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that. I should have had my shit together. Good to see y'all. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so sorry that it took me a second. I apologize. Let me show y'all's comments on stage. Hobby Farmer, good to see you. Yeah, I was double. Speaking of, get the screen turned on. Good to see y'all. Hobby Farmer, good to see you. Snarky Pants, thank you so much for being here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared to know more about these twisted motherfuckers, y'all. It's bad. It's real bad. I was able to get documents that are sealed. Part of them are sealed, and like the other parts, you have to go to the actual courthouse to get the documents. And what I have is what somebody sent me, and that was so very kind of them. If they hear this, I don't know if they will or not. And it's like a copy of it, but it was delivered to me as a PDF, which I am going to go over with you guys. But some of it's like hard to read, but we're going to do the best we can. Here's Christine. Good to see you. Edith. Good to see you. Jenny Jen. Good to see you. I mean, even with that, like you get an understanding of what exactly was going on in that household, and it's absolutely just the shit. It's horrific. It's real bad, y'all. Abella's good to see you. Sealed documents, yes. Southern Cat's good to see you. Snarky Pants, I said hey to you. Edith, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Curious Christine, good to see you. Abella's my love, good to see you. Jenny Jen, A1 from day one, good to see you. Hobby Farmer said, wow, been a long time since I caught a live. And intrigued by this topic, not seen much on the story. I know not a lot of people were covering it. Me and a couple other people were covering it, and that's about all I've seen. Lisa Lynn, good to see you. Tom, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hannah UK, good to see you. Thank you to my mods for being here every day. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate that. Jerry, good to see you, love, and thank you for being here. Kimmy C123, good to see you, and thank you for being here. Rhonda and Cara, hey Cara, Kat, and Holly Bones, good to see you. I'm glad you made it, love. I'm sorry your new work schedule is crazy. Shelby, good to see you, and thank you for being here. Miss King of Anything, thank you for being here. Good to see you. Cindy from sunny South Florida, good to see you. One sunny day, good to see you. Thank you guys for being here. I saw that somebody became a member. Darzilla, thank you for becoming a member. I greatly appreciate the support, and you will be entered in a drawing that we do at the end of the month where 3 people will receive 3 like gift things that I'm going to put together. So thank you for becoming a member. I really appreciate the support. I'm going to grab the Polar Express to pick you up so I can do something real quick while y'all watch that. Thank you so much for becoming a member, Darzilla. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, my love, for becoming a member. I really appreciate it. Okay. So, Kat said, I'm a grandma of 14, one married and one in college. However, I'm willing to show him love and encouragement to live his best life. Well, that's awesome. Carr said, by the way, did you see that the name Karen is canceled and the new term is being a Jessica? Are you fucking kidding? Really? Well, that's not good. Where is it canceled at? Just all over the world? Shelby said, hey to everybody I didn't say hi to. Sorry, took a moment to check some apps. You're a good sweetheart. Hey, Jamie Brown, good to see you. It's nice to meet you and thank you for being here. You posted a link in mod chat. That's funny. Thank you for dropping in, Jamie Brown. It's nice to meet you. All right, so yeah, we got some documents. I'm going to pull up just a couple of the videos. Well, I kind of want to just go over the documents. So let me pull up the documents so you guys can see what we're working with. We'll just go ahead and get right into it. 12:30. And then we'll see what the news is saying about everything. Karens will live on forever, in my opinion, said Marilyn. I think they will too. I really do. And that's amazing, Kat. I'm glad that you have that. That you your son, your children, you have that many children and that they're all doing good. Let me pull it up on the drive. I think that might be better. I know that Hio was helping me with the documents. See, it was working just fine. It's going to start being slow. I'm going to get pissed off. Okay, where is it? Hold on just a second. Okay. We're going to pull it up that way. Oh, Abellis has been a member for 15 whole entire months. Thank you so much for the support. That's so very sweet and supportive of you and super amazing. My God, that's a long time. Thank you so much for the continued support for 15 whole entire months. That is insane. Thank you. Let me get you a basil for that. She says, whoop, 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 whoop. I know I'm saying whoop, whoop.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for 15 months. That is crazy. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, so hopefully this will be good. This is what I'm working with, okay? And I'm going to read it to you to the best of my ability. I wanted you guys to be able to see it. I will drop them on Patreon later. A friend of mine went up there and took pictures of the documents. Like, that's what they were able to do. So that's what I have, and that's what we're going to go over. Kat said RJ needs to know that not all adults are evil. And that's going to be super important for him, considering what he's been through at the hands of his own mother. I mean, your own fucking mom. And she, y'all, there is a bestiality aspect to this. She was practicing bestiality. Like, after reading this, I have to question, were they like abusing some type of methamphetamine or something where they had, I don't know, man. These motherfuckers right here, like, I don't even know. You got your basil. Yes, you did, Abellis. Yes, you did. It's from the New York Post. Karen is canceled. Meet her younger, sassier cousin who's entitled, abrasive, and also wants to speak to your manager. And her name is Jessica. I am not like that at all. Like, I guess it's some Jessicas. I know, Curious Christina, it pisses me off too. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading it. The first page we have is the mother, Kimberly K. Cole, if you can call her that. And then I'm going to go ahead and scroll down so you can see the charges, and I'm going to read it to you to the best of my ability. So again, she's got 3 counts of child abuse, 2 counts of child sex abuse, 3 counts of child neglect, 1 count of conspiracy. I think they said it's actually 2, and 2 counts of crimes against nature. So it says, State of Oklahoma, County of Caddo. I, Joseph Hicks, the undersigned district attorney of said county, in the name and by the authority of the state of Oklahoma, give information in that said county at Caddo and the state of Oklahoma, Kimberly K. Cole, aliases Kimberly K. Moore, did then and there unlawfully, willingly, knowingly, and wrongfully commit the crimes of count 1, child abuse, a class A3 felony, on or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously forcing RD, who was under the age of 18 years old, and at the time, okay, sorry. She willfully and forcefully, willfully and maliciously forced RJ, who was under the age of 18 years old, to eat Louisiana hot sauce as a punishment. So she gave him hot sauce in his mouth as a punishment. Jerry said, I have Jessica and she's the sweetest. Now, if you said Natalie, I would believe it. You know, Natasha's another one that's can be kind of mean. Tom said, Carr, this woman I dated named Karen was a poster child for today's Karen. Can't tell you how many free desserts we received at restaurants because of her. Oh, wow. So you dated her for a little while. That's insane, Tom. So she made him eat hot sauce as a punishment, and it just gets worse from there. Under that, it reads, this crime is punishable by imprisonment in the custody of Department of Corrections, not exceeding the imprisonment, or by imprisonment in a county jail, not exceeding 1 year, or by a fine of not less than $500, no more than $5,000. Both such fine and imprisonment. Okay, count 2, child abuse, a class 3 felony, on or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully, maliciously using using unreasonable force against. Now this is another victim. I think it's going to be the older system. It either says V2 or ZC. I think it says ZC. Who was under the age of 18 years old at the time by placing her hands around victim 2's throat and choking her. So she's got a child abuse charge for another child who was under the age of 18 years old at the time and is female. And that charge is for the mother placing her hands around the child's throat and choking her. Remember, RJ said that he had a sister and he was very mad and he wanted revenge against his parents and his sister. Yeah. Not another Chandra Vander Ark. So I think this is going to be in reference to the sister. And then it tells us the crime is punishable by the same custody in the Department of Corrections or county jail for not more than a year. And you can be fined between $500 and $5,000. Count 3, child abuse, a class A felony, on or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously using unreasonable force against RJ, who was under the age of 18 years old at the time, by using zip ties and handcuffs to restrain RD in their home overnight. Remember the aunt talking about she knew that RJ had shackles and would get pinned up like this in the shower or something to that effect. And he wouldn't even be able to use the bathroom. Yeah, that's what that is. Zip ties and handcuffs to restrain him overnight. Overnight. When you're supposed to be putting your child tucked into bed and reading them a bedtime story and making sure that they're off to sleep, he's strapped up in the damn bathroom. And I mean, it just gets worse. It just collectively gets worse through the document. No monsters today for me. Have a blessed one, everyone. You too, Marilyn. I get it. This is it's triggering. I'm going to go ahead and put my trigger warning up. Hopefully they don't ban me from YouTube from what this document says, because it's pretty bad. Please protect your peace if you need to leave. Okay. Let me go ahead and scroll it down. Hold on just a minute. Let me get my drink. My other drink. Not my drink, my damn lip gloss. I can't stand for my lips to feel dry. There it is. I have some that I made, but I need to make some more. All right, sorry, y'all. Okay. Now, this one is where it gets kind of hard to read, but if you'll work with me, we'll get through it. Michael Green Chili Chicken, good to see you. So just rolled in here, like number 2756 people watching. Hit the like, friends. Yes, please twinkle, twinkle to the thumbs up. I do have some new clips.
Come on,
too.
players, stop hating. Stop hating. Stop participating. Stop participating, star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle to that thumbs up. All right, count 4. This is child SDX abuse, a class A3 felony. On or about the 1st day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025, by willfully, maliciously instructing victim 2, a something child who was under the age of 18 years old at the time, by encouraging victim 2 into sexual acts, specifically the defendant having sex with a canine. Just so you know, that canine's name is Bear. So this bitch instructed her daughter to have relations with the dog while she was having relations with the dog.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that? What is that private pile?
I can't fucking do it. I should have turned that down. Sorry if y'all got headphones on. I couldn't find this one, but I got to do it. Even though it's got Stefan, I got to find it again and take Stefan out of it. But like, y'all.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
What in the fuck would possess you to abuse a dog like that and then force your child to be involved in that? Like what kind of methamphetamine bullshit is this? What kind of methamphetamine camper nightmare bullshit is this, y'all?
What the hell? What the hell, Yante? What the hell, What the hell, Barry? What the hell?
What the helly? What the helly? Yeah, we have fallen down the most heinous, hellacious hole that there ever was on this earth. Mrs. North, we sure have. Yep, Cara, you're good. Justice for Bear. Justice for Bear. Like, what the fuck do I even say after that? This motherfucking bitch. Let me pull her up so we can see her. Front and motherfucking center. I'm calling you bitch to the front of the fucking room. This bitch right here. That's why she looks like that in her fucking mugshot. You know, and it's hard because I'm trying to have compassion, okay? Because when we first got the presser, she stated after speaking with the parents, they learned that RJ had suffered abuse at the hands of the parents. So I'm thinking that she admitted it. I'm thinking that she admitted most of the things. I mean, because remember, crimes against nature was the first charge, and then they got hit with the child abuse charges. I do think that she admitted what had been going on and said RJ probably ran away because we were doing X, Y, and Z to him and his siblings and all the things. I don't want to have compassion for her, but I can say that if that's what she told them, this is what we were doing. I'm ready to go to jail for it. Just please find him and make sure he's safe. Like, that's a good thing, but how do you as a person force your children to do fucked up shit like this and participate in fucked up shit, and then he runs away and you tell the cops everything? Like, it doesn't really make much sense. Jerry said, I'm trying to get this straight. Was there another child? If so, where are they? There was another child with that their initials are in there, but or it says victim 2. I'm just going with victim 2. I think it's the sister because remember the aunt said that RJ had told her that he wanted revenge against his sister, his mother, and his father. And I can pull that interview up if I need to. When the girl, so I'm thinking the sister aged out and turned 18 and left, and RJ was left there, and that's why he wanted revenge against the sister. Hannah said, I heard rumors that RJ's sister was taken by CPS. I cannot confirm that though. If RJ's sister was taken by CPS, then why wasn't he taken? There aren't. And I don't want to have any compassion for her. This is some fucked up shit, and I don't really. But if she admitted to everything and said just find him, that's better than some people have done in the past. You know what I mean? Tom said those kids will never be the same after treatment like that. Certain things you can't unsee or forget. No, that for the rest of their lives. Like that is some trauma that I don't know if you could heal from. Hold on, y'all. Yeah. It is. It's fucking awful. Like, and how does RJ begin to heal from this? And I think about, him crying, thinking he's in trouble, coming out with his hands up when they located him finally. And thinking about him being in them freezing temperatures in some kind of shed or building, structure. They said he was in a structure alone. I mean, my God, that's better than this shit. Fucking A, man. Like, he probably wouldn't have come back if they hadn't found him because the shed is better than this shit. Yep. We absolutely know why he kept running away. Yep. All right. Count 6. Child sex abuse, a class A3 felony. On or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December of 2025 by willfully, maliciously, and willfully and maliciously sexually something the victim to a minor child who was under the age of 18 years old at the time by touching her breast and looking down her shirt in a lewd and malicious manner. I don't know what she did to victim 2, the girl, but she touched her breast and looked down her shirt in a lewd and malicious manner. Like, what the fuck? I can't, man.
What the fuck is going on here?
This is some shit, y'all. This is some fucked up shit. Rebecca Bishop, yeah. 6 years of abuse, yeah, from the first day of January of 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025. And I think he's 12. He was born in like 2013, I would think. If he's 12, yeah, he would have been born in 2013. So that's like abuse from when he was, sorry, y'all, 7 years old. 7 years old, this abuse started. And that's probably just how far they've got documentation of it going back. Hannah said, I'm wondering if the sister was older when RJ ran and wasn't found. She went to the cops and told them what she had endured. Maybe. Or RJ started talking and telling them everything that he saw. And I'm thinking the sister might have backed him up. Yeah, like that's the biggest thing, Tom, for me. Tom said it makes you wonder how people get like that. What kind of fucked up, possessed, demonic shit do you got to be into for to be doing some shit like this? Like, how do you fucking, there's lines, in the sand with human decency. Like, you just fucking got one of them poles and just like lunged over that bitch. How do you get there? How do you get to tying your child up and I don't know, man. Because they were picked up before RJ was found. Yeah, and RJ was able to talk about it because they're already in jail, I'm thinking. Yeah. Kat, you might not be able to, and if you need to leave, you can. Okay. Now we got, at the bottom of that one, it says this crime is punishable by imprisonment in the custody of Department of Corrections, not exceeding life imprisonment, or by imprisonment in county jail not exceeding 1 year, or by a fine of not less than $500, not more than $5,000, or both such fine and imprisonment. Now we got count 6. I'm sorry if I said count 6 before. Count 6, child neglect, a class B1 felony. Felonious child neglect. Percy, good to see you. This is going to be a hard stream to watch. Addie V said sexual deviant. Yeah, but like, how do you fucking get there? Jesus Christ. Child neglect, a class B1 felony on or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously neglecting RJ, who was under the age of 18 years old at the time, by not providing appropriate education. That tells us for a fact that he was homeschooled, because they're charged with not providing appropriate education to the child that they said, you know what, state of Oklahoma, we got this. We got this. We'll do a better job than you do. I'm going to take my child's care into my own hands. We got this. And then you sat there and abused the fuck out of them. Mrs. North said it seems more common now. We've seen it in way more cases. It's probably similar to like pedophilia is. But like back in the 60s or 70s, I mean, maybe 1, 2, possibly at the most. To be fair, I mean, a lot of shit wasn't talked about back then either, but I can't see, somebody that grew up in the time when girls were wearing poodle skirts and stacking books on their heads so they walked with their backs straight, participating in some shit like this. You know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't known. It just wasn't common. And it's sick that it's become common. Yep, that's another thing. Tom pointed out, no wonder the dude tried to self-delete in jail. He knows exactly what he did, and he knows it's all coming out. Yep. Self-preservation. Fuck RJ. Fuck RJ. The whole goddamn time he was suffering, fuck him. All this shit's coming out, and I'm going to self-delete. Self-preservation, that motherfucker is worried about himself and himself only. Not once did he ever worry about RJ or the little girl. You can find some good in the very worst of people and vice versa. You can find some bad in the very best of people. Yeah. What did Bella say? We humans are a bizarre species. We're capable of so much good and also so much evil. Facts.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Absolutely. All right. This is Kimberly's too. I've got his as well. Count 7, child neglect, a class B1 felony, on or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously neglecting RJ, who was under the age of 18 years old at the time, by lack of proper supervision. So that, I'm wondering, if I'm just speculating, I'm wondering if he ran away and they just, let him run away, didn't try to find him, and if he indeed did make a shelter out there somewhere and he would just leave and they would just let him leave and say basically, oh, he'll come back when he wants some food or water, and didn't report it or anything. We do, Crystal. David Parker Ray was another twisted deviant that abused canines and women's. Yep. That case was insane. That motherfucker was pure evil. He had some kind of demon in him. Some people have always been like this. You think we just didn't hear about it. In the 60s and 70s, people didn't even discuss incest or this type of thing. It was taboo to say. The least porn was illegal until the 80s, so everything was swept under the rug. Yeah, probably right. I mean, I believe it. There are subcultures, but they would respect and not cross lines to harm children, right? This shit's fucked up. Right. If you want to live on the underbelly of life, then don't have kids. Exactly. Hey, crack up. Be careful. This is a bad one. All right. Count 8. Child neglect, a class B1 felony on or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously neglecting victim 2, who was under the age of 18 at the time, by not providing appropriate education. So they didn't educate victim, the daughter, I'm assuming is the daughter, who was also in their home. They didn't educate her either. Count 9. Yeah. Conspiracy, a class D1 felony. On or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by conspiring and agreeing with George Franklin Cole Jr. to commit the crime of child abuse, a felony, as a person responsible for a child's health, safety, or welfare, willfully and maliciously harmed a child under the age of 18, and said defendant and George Franklin Cole Jr. did abuse RJ in furtherance of this conspiracy. That crime is punishable by imprisonment for up to 10 years or a fine of up to $5,000 or both. Count 10, down here at the bottom. Count 11 is cut off, and that was the second crimes against nature. But, I mean, I can only imagine what it is. Count 10, crime against nature, a class 2 felony. On or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by committing the detestable and abominable crime against nature by having unnatural and carnal copulation, by committing sexual acts with a canine named Bear. Like, I think it's worse that the count 4, child sex abuse, because you had carnal knowledge of the fucking dog and you involved the fucking daughter. Jesus Christ.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
I hope that dog gets the help it needs. Jesus Christ. We must do better at protecting our children. Oh, I don't think that Addie was saying that there is necessarily a cure for pedophiles. But yeah, I don't think that the things they're trying to do to cure it, if somebody has offended, I think they need to be in jail forever, honestly. Cat Reflects, good to see you. Be careful with this one because it's pretty bad. Where the fuck? Okay. This one is George Franklin Cole Jr.'s. There is a fly in here. How the fuck a fly got in here when it's like 28 degrees outside? I'll never know, but okay. I got my thing right here. I've got to get it set up so I have a bunch of what the fuck buttons. I'm working on it. I have been so busy lately. Like, I haven't had time to stop. All right. So now we have George Franklin Cole's charges. Hold on a minute. Fuck. I was speaking to the aspects of crimes, not crimes to children. That's what I didn't think you meant that. I mean, like I think what she meant is if you are wanting to, like, I mean, talking about kink specifically, let's go down that road. If you're into some kinky shit, that's okay. Just don't involve children. Don't be putting children in the shit. If you want to commit crimes, if you want to go out and break the law, I mean, if that's what you like, then whatever, dude. But just don't be putting children in it or having children if that's what you want to do. Yeah. I don't even know where the fuck it came from. It's like 28 degrees outside. Probably hanging out with the damn wasp wherever they're hanging out at. Georgie Boy's life in prison ain't going to be easy. That's a fucking fact. All right. So I, the undersigned district attorney of said county, in the name and by the authority of the state of Oklahoma, give information that in said county of Caddo and the state of Oklahoma, George Franklin Cole Jr. did then and there unlawfully, willfully, and knowingly and wrongfully commit the crimes of count 1, child abuse, a class A3 felony. On or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December, January 2025, by willfully and maliciously using unreasonable force against RJ, who was under the age of 16, says 18 or 16, at the time by using zip ties and handcuffs to restrain RJ in their home overnight. And then we have AFCF times 2. This crime is punishable by imprisonment in the custody of Department of Corrections, 20 years to life imprisonment. He knows he's gone. No. Yeah, this is not kink. This is demonic shit. I was just using kink as a reference. And people in the kink community will tell you that too. Count 2, child abuse, a class A3 felony. On or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025, by willfully, maliciously administering by willfully and maliciously administering an electrical current with a taser on RJ, who was under the age of 18 years old in Caddo County, Oklahoma. Y'all, this child, a 12-year-old boy getting fucking tasered. Yeah, that shit's insane. I don't support that map shit. He fucking tased him. Yeah, like, and he kept getting put back there. Like, Jesus, what did the child have to do? I mean, obviously run away for a fucking 9 days in freezing fucking temperatures. That's what he had to do to get out of this environment. He ran, he tried, he told people he was being abused. And he just kept getting put back there. What the fuck? The aunt said that she knew for a fact that they tied him up in the fucking bathroom. Kat said prison justice is the only way for both of them. Right. Karen, I'm with you. They better get the death penalty. I know, Michael. I'm with you on that. I'm so glad RJ made it out of this fucking shit. Jesus. Yeah, that's what it boils down to. He was systematically tortured in addition to the essay. My God. All right, it's kind of hard to read this part. I'm going to do the best I can. I might zoom in on the computer if I can't read it off of here. So count 3, child abuse, a class A3 felony on or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully. Y'all, Jesus, I can't. He fucking stabbed him. 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 Digital Warrior said they were selling this material. I blame them and the demand. There's always going to be sick people out there demanding sick shit. You ought to hear about that fucking group that gets kids to kill themselves, young girls. It's horrific. They're always going to be demanding horrible shit. The fucking Natalie Wagner case on my page that I have the body cams for, people were wanting mommy videos and she was abusing toddlers in that way. Her babies. She was having relations with her fucking 4-year-old. Yeah, good to see you. Good morning, good afternoon. Jesus. Addie B said, I'm telling you, RJ is a survivor and he will be a living testimony to help others. Yeah. Yeah, that is his opinion, but I what else are you doing? Okay, so he committed child abuse by willfully and maliciously stabbing RJ, who was under the age of 18 years old at the time, with a knife. I don't give a why does it matter that he was under, I guess it's a sharper penalty for the charge because he was a child, but how the fuck is this child just walking around with a fucking stab wound and what, he healed? Y'all, I need a cigarette for this. I need an actual fucking cigarette. We might have to break and go on the phone. I don't know. Tom said, the scary thing is this kind of thing is probably happening to kids all around the world. I fucking hope it's not. I mean, it just gets worse. Okay, the next count 4, is child abuse, a class A3 felony on or about the first day of January 2022 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously forcing RJ, who was under the age of 18 years old, to eat Louisiana hot sauce as a punishment. Like, I'm thankful for that charge. Jesus, at least it's not horrible. How the fuck? That sounds peaceful right now, Cindy. I'm glad that you're watching that. Kim, good to see you. 99% of people who SEXually abuse kids were SEX abuses kids. You know, it's interesting you bring that up. I'm sorry, Digital Warrior, if I referred to you as him, I apologize. It's interesting that you bring that up because they talk about the dad on the stepfather side, the grandfather being having charges for child SEX abuse too. Okay. Count 5, child abuse. A class A3 felony on or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously slamming RJ's head, who was under the age of 18 years old, into a pickup truck. I don't even know what to say to that.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
This child is lucky to be alive. He was being stabbed, tased, tied up overnight. His head was being slammed into a truck. The mom was having sex with the dog and forcing the sister in on it. Like, being outside in the shed in freezing temperatures was better than being at home. And I mean, the fucking... Hold on. Takes my computer just a second. Look at the pictures of him. Like, yeah, this one, he's obviously been through some shit. He looks defeated and worn. But then you have these pictures where he's smiling. How was he ever even able to smile? This shit's hard. CPS did fail miserably putting him back in that household like that. Somebody has to break the generational cycle. Apparently, those people were too weak to do the work of rising above their raising. Yep. Yep. But
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
I don't think that that the stepdad was tased and stabbed and all that shit. I mean, this shit it was way worse than the abuse that they suffered. This poor kid went through so much in his young life. I'm amazed he's alive to tell about it. Me too. That's horrible, Tom. Which probably threatened that if he didn't smile, something worse was going to happen to him. Probably. And I think that with him running away to the great aunt's house and them stalking her and going in her house and doing whatever was because they were afraid he told her what was going on. Seems that CPS can't get their shit together. They're either taking the wrong kids or failing the rest. They need to be reformed. Yeah. There's a lot going on with the shit, man. All right. Now we got child abuse, the class A3 felony on or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously administering an electric current with a taser on RJ, who was under the age of 18 years old, in Chickasha, Oklahoma. They were tasing him in the hotel. That's why that charge is there twice. Hold on a minute. We got stabbing, hot sauce, truck. This one is specifically in Chickasha. They were doing that at the fucking hotel. I'm wondering if, like Digital said, are they selling this shit? Are they making videos of them abusing him and selling it? Jesus Christ. Child abuse, a class A3 felony on or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously striking RJ, who was under the age of 18 years old, with a nightstick. Like, what the fuck can I even say to that shit? It didn't start with mom when she met stepdad. I believe she was already demented. There's some fucking what in the meth is going on here kind of shit going on here. What in the fucking meth abuse camper trailer shit is this? I believe the aunt told the truth about them harassing her too, but by God, I would not give a fuck. I would not give a fuck. This is some fucking fuck shit of the worst kind. Curious Christine said all adults with knowledge are partially to blame for not saying something or saving him. I mean, my God, like he kept running away. He kept trying to get the fuck away. He kept leaving. And they kept putting him back. What the fuck was he supposed to do? This is pure fucking the definition of torture. Day in and day out. That a fucking child at the ripe young age of fucking 12 was suffering day in and day out. All day, every day. They would go there every Friday, allegedly, to take a shower or do something, probably record horrific fucking videos. What if there was no substance abuse with this couple? I don't know. I don't know how your mind can go there without there being substance abuse. Um, I don't think they've been charged with paraphernalia, but at the same time, I mean, these charges are way worse. It's just like with Stephen, um, not charging him. Well, I mean, I don't know. They try to throw everything so that something will stick. But I haven't seen anything about paraphernalia or substances, so I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, you fucking right. I would have been you would have been fighting me to get him back. Count 8, child abuse, a class A3 felony. Let me scroll it down for you so you can see. These AFC times 2, AFCF times 2 are at the bottom of each one of these. I don't know what that means, but it says this crime is punishable by imprisonment in the custody of Department of Corrections, 20 years to life imprisonment. So I guess it's steeper because of the gravity of it. Count 8 reads child abuse of class A3 felony on or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously using a fucking cattle prod on AJ, who was under the age of 18, causing RJ to lose a tooth in Woodward, Oklahoma. He hit that child in the fucking mouth with a cattle prod. Rhonda said RJ's father was in jail. That's what I've heard. Curious said, yes, he did, and nobody saved him. That's one of the hardest parts for me. He tried to save himself, and that's hard as a mid-teen. I know from experience. I'm sorry you went through that, but you're exactly right. I mean, what the fuck do you do as a 12-year-old experiencing this shit? When you leave and they just keep putting you back there. I could not imagine what this child. I mean, he tried to save himself. Fuck, living in the woods was better by a long stretch. Out there freezing to death was better for him than this bullshit. Mrs. North said, this is exactly why Bio Dad needs to be investigated. Why didn't he see RJ for 8 years? Oh, yeah. Rhonda pointed out because he was in jail. I don't think that he knew anything about what was going on. Yeah, it's terrible. Eight years, yet appears to be right there looking for him. Yeah, I think he was in jail. I don't think he knew. I really don't. They busted that child in the mouth with a cattle prod to the extent that he lost a fucking tooth. You fucking right. Living in an abandoned shed would be better than this fuck shit. It makes complete sense to me. Okay, this is going to be hard to read. Count 9. Child SCX abuse, a class A3 felony. On or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously SEX abusing victim 2, a minor child who was under the age of 18 years old with lewd acts by something. I don't think it's forcing, but something victim 2 to view pornographic videos depicting animals having sex with females. So the stepdad's the one into the bestiality bullshit. How do you meet a woman who has children and you lunge across that line of regular carnal relations to fucking letting her know, oh, I like to watch dogs be abused, and I want you to do that. Like forcing the children to watch porn depicting bestiality. This is insane. Right, Curious? That tells us all we need to know. Anything was better for him than being home. Even being all alone in the world, in the woods, in the middle of the night, in freezing fucking temperatures was better and safer for him. Eileen Wuornos did do the same thing. She did live in the woods, sleeping in the snow. Eileen did do the same things. She slept in the snow. No blanket. I think she had a tent and like a piece of a blanket because her fucking grandfather and brother were raping her. That's another one, that it was better to be all alone in the dark, in the woods, even while it's fucking literally freezing outside. Like, hell no, he wouldn't have come out when they called him. And I think that he would have heard them calling. I think he heard the searchers out there calling for him, and he did not come out for several reasons. Because one, he had always been placed right back into this environment. And two, he was afraid that he was in trouble. That's a good question. I know you're not trying to be silly. How do you fucking meet a woman and on your first date? Oh yeah, by the way, I like to watch bestiality, and I'm gonna want you to participate in that eventually. Like, there had to be drug use going on. You can't tell me that this shit just happened and there was no drug use going on. Not that it's an excuse. Yeah, I don't even. Excuse me. In the 70s and 80s in Ireland, CSA was never spoken about, like it didn't exist. It wasn't until Esther Rotson in UK formed a helpline called Childline. I was 19 and thought it was such a great idea. I've never heard of that. Fibbity Foopa Flap. Thank you for that information, and I'm glad they do have resources out there. And speaking of resources, RJ is going to need some extensive resources for this shit. Like, this is insane. This kind of bullshit is why I think there cannot be an all-powerful and knowing all God. I would love to expand on that, but I've always asked, and that's been my one thing for religion, preachers and things. I'm like, if God exists, then why do we have children that are being raped? Why is there children dying of cancer? And what I've always been told is that it's not the child. Sometimes it's the parents are supposed to suffer, and the child is like, it's not that the child did something wrong. It's that the parents might have done something wrong, or it's for us to grow and come closer to God. But like, again, why, if we're going to talk about God and go there, why was RJ put in this shit? Why was he made to suffer through that? Like, there is no excuse. And we have the ability of free will, and they chose to do this. But why did RJ have to suffer? Hey, Max, good to see you. Red hair firefighter, pure community, essaying a child, and then got the, yeah, out of Florida. I need to pull more documents on that. They're supposed to be sending me some, but I need to double check that one again. Realtor and the firefighter, sleeping with the fucking dogs. Yep. How does one just turn to bestiality? Like, he started with dogs and was hoping he would move up to livestock. What the hell? Oh, there's horses there. Like, people were putting horses on the fucking property to be trained. I'm concerned about the fucking horses' health too. All right. Hold on a minute. I don't know who this is. Sorry about that. All right. Mrs. North, my camera's not on, said that's humanity's degradation. No soul comes here to be tortured and abused. That's not a karmic lesson, like some say, to excuse humans' vile behavior. Yeah. handed down generationally. Turns out when I got older, I found out that his father was doing it. Yeah, I think there could be some generational abuse. Oh, no, you're good. And that was well said. All right, I'm going to try to read this next one. Count 10. Child neglect. A class B1 felony. It's very hard to read. Okay. On or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously neglecting RJ, who was under the age of 18 years old, by not providing with appropriate education. Count 11, child neglect, a class B felony. On or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by willfully and maliciously neglecting victim 2, who was under the age of 18 years old, by not providing an appropriate education. All right, now we're at count 12. Being a mom of 6, this is so hard to hear. Yeah, I have several children myself, and I just can't fathom this shit. Like, I've always raised children. I have several myself. I have several with me all day, every day. And never. I mean, never. There's just I can't even think about what I'd do, because this would never happen. Nothing like this would have ever happened. So that's one generation of abused kids who either ended up abusing their other kids. Not all of the siblings did, though, and those kids were doing it. I was extremely careful who came around me and mine. You have to be in situations like that, unfortunately. They've got to be, Rhonda. They got to be using something. Lazy bastard had time for every deviant behavior under the sun, but no time for getting a job. Isn't that right? Addie, your first comment didn't show up on my side, but I saw you said, in my opinion. I don't know what your first comment said, love. Oh, in my opinion, stepdad trying to unlive himself speaks to him knowing right from wrong, not so much having went through the same himself. If you still have a conscience and you still know right from wrong, that's a good point, because he's all about himself and trying to end his life because he knows how bad he fucked up. All right, we got count 12 is on or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2026 by willfully and maliciously neglecting RJ, who was under the age of 18 years old, by failing to provide a lack of supervision. All right. Count 13, pattern of criminal offenses, a class D1 felony. On or about the first day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025, 2 or more criminal offenses are committed that are part of the same plan, scheme, or adventure. So what they're saying is they're charging him with a pattern of criminal offenses because the 2 of the crimes were committed together, right, as part of the same scheme. So that's like stabbing him and tasing him. That could be an example of pattern of criminal offenses. During this episode where you are abusing RJ as a punishment, as I'm sure he said it was, and you're tasing him, hitting him with a cattle prod, zip tying him to the shower. You did all of these things as a punishment for one incident, but you did 2 or more of these things. That's showing me a pattern of criminal offenses. You're watching bestiality while forcing victim 2, the female child, to be involved in the bestiality with the bestiality of her mother. These are patterns of these things combined together make it a pattern of offenses, criminal offenses. Conspiracy is the 14th count, and that's going to be the same thing except reversed. So it's going to be that, by conspiring and agreeing with Kimberly K. Cole to commit the crime of child abuse, a felony, as a person responsible for a child's health, safety, or welfare, willfully and maliciously harmed a child under the age of 18, and said defendant and Kimberly K. Cole did abuse RJ in furtherance of this conspiracy. Yeah, no ma'am. Have a minimum of 4 each, so I have been around plenty of children, and thankfully we had each other to watch them. That's good. We never had a non-relative have to help. Yeah. I'm glad you always had people around to help. I sneezed. My cat is highly offended. No doubt. Lorianne, this has been horrific. And y'all, I don't really know what else to say to this. I mean, I don't know what else to say to this. This is absolutely insane. So let me just go through everything that happened again. Because I'm probably gonna end it soon. I need a damn cigarette. What do you talk about after this? You know what I mean? The whole victim to info should be redacted, in my opinion. Well, it only gives initials. Oh, and if we go to like the news, they say that they're not releasing the names of the people who were abused anymore. Hold on, I'll pull that up real quick, and then we'll go over every single one of the things that happened. And I'll just, read it out to you so you understand the gravity of how bad they were abused. Hold on a minute. I'm trying to pull up my. Okay. So this is what they are saying as the documents come out. He said new court documents. It's not letting me rewind it.
Documents reveal what led to charges against 2 parents at the center of a missing child case who now stand accused of child abuse. Because of the nature of these crimes, we're no longer identifying the victims here. But investigators say Kimberly.
So again, because of the nature, they're not identifying the victims. And I hope to God RJ can find a safe place where he doesn't ever have to think about this shit again. Content, good to see you. Thank you for being here. And Lorianne, good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Kimberly Cole and George Cole Jr. physically and sexually abused 2 children for several years. Investigators say George Cole Jr. stabbed, tased, and hit one of the children, even using zip ties and handcuffs to restrain that child overnight. According to the court filings, both suspects are also accused of using hot sauce as a form of punishment. Neither child has been given a proper education. We know one of the children is in state custody. OSBI also confirms that George Cole Jr. is in critical condition this morning, a day after attempting suicide in jail. Court documents have not yet been, court dates that is, have not yet been scheduled.
So he is in critical condition at jail. That's new information. I had yesterday, that reminded me of, I found a video yesterday showing the ambulance coming to pick him up. And I want to show y'all that. So this is right after, I think it's this one. It talks about right after, no.
Graphic new accusations were leveled today against the boy's mother, Kim Cole, and his stepdad.
12-year-old Ryan R.J. Davis found safe on Sunday after being missing for over a week. His mom and stepfather, Kimberly and George Cole, in jail now facing charges for child abuse.
George was in court yesterday, Monday, shortly after he attempted to take his own life, and he is now in the hospital recovering. Both suspects are due in court in April.
And the volunteers who found RJ call themselves the United Asian Navy. The group formed in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, and since then, they've helped with search and rescue operations in 19 states. And we asked them what made them want to help find this 12-year-old boy.
You have a skill set and you're able to apply it, especially for a good cause and anything that helps children. We do a bunch of counter trafficking stuff, so whatever we can do to help a child, we're going to do it.
The organization says that they're always looking for volunteers, and if you are interested or you'd like to donate to help them, we put a link in the As Seen On section of our website.
And here at KOCO, we will continue following this case, but for right now.
Let me, I'm going to stop sharing this. I want y'all to see the one where they showed the ambulance taking George Cole to the hospital yesterday. It's rushing. It's interesting to hear that he's in critical condition. He might have actually succeeded. Hold on just a minute. I saw it right after. Of course, it's not going to be on here. Hold on. I know I would have saved it though. Might be this one. Yes, he attempted to hang himself. You are absolutely right, Hannah.
Yeah, guys. Now, between the two of them, his mom and his stepdad, we were talking 21 separate charges. His mom, somewhere in this building behind me in a jail cell with the district attorney's office, tells me his stepdad is now in the hospital. That's because when he returned from court, he came here back to his cell and he tried to kill himself. And then they brought him to the hospital. He was unsuccessful, undergoing treatment now. It took 9 days, multiple law enforcement agencies and hundreds of volunteers together to find 12-year-old RJ Davis. In that time, he made his way from the hotel where he was last seen in Chickasha to 12 miles away, back to the family's farm. He's now safe and healing from some wounds that could take years.
It's just a terrible thing. It's a terrible.
These wounds are going to take a lifetime to heal from.
World we live in, and I think he went through a terrible ordeal, and I'm just thankful to God that he's alive.
Monday, his parents faced a judge, and while the exact circumstances still aren't publicly shared, his mom, Kimberly Cole, is facing 11 charges: 3 child abuse, 2 child sex abuse, 3 child neglect, 2 conspiracy, and 1 crime against nature. Her husband, George Cole Jr., is facing 10 charges: 8 child abuse, 1 for child sex abuse, and 1 for child neglect.
Which have been upped to 14 now. Yep, exactly, Jamie Brown. He is a coward trying to take the easy way out. He needs to be held 100% accountable for what he did.
Now, right after seeing the judge, Cole Jr. returned to his cell where the district attorney tells us he tried to take his own life. Cole was instead taken to the hospital. OSBI is now investigating. Both are expected back in court mid-April, all while the state works to place RJ in a safe home.
Hopefully they'll place him in a good home, and they'll take care of him a lot better than his mom and stepdad did.
All right, so stepdad's bond, Cole Jr., is now set for $2.5 million. If he does manage to bail out of that, he's going to have lots of restrictions. That includes a GPS device. He can't have any contact with minors, with witness, or with animals. Kim's, the mom.
Now we know why he can't have contact with animals.
Her bail is set for $1.5 million. Live in Caddo County, Chantal Navarro, KOCO 5 News.
12-year-old Ryan.
And then we'll play this one real quick.
Graphic new accusations were leveled today against the boy's mother, Kim Cole, and his stepdad, George Cole Jr.
And tonight we know George Cole attempted to hang himself in his jail cell after hearing those charges in court.
News 4's Adria Goins was there as he was rushed to the hospital. She's also hearing from rescuers about how the boy stayed hidden for so long.
So he might have been put in a turtle suit in the beginning, but they might have just put him in the regular pod because this case had not garnered the attention that it had. And he had been in there. I think they went in that Wednesday after they disappeared, and then it had been like, usually they're in the turtle suit for 48 to 72 hours, which is 2 to 3 days. When he went to court and actually found out everything he was being charged with, he probably would not have still been in the turtle suit. They probably would have cleared him to be in regular clothes or his regular jumpsuit at that point. And I think when he figured out everything that they knew he had done, that's when he tried to take his life. because at that point he knew his goose was cooked, as should be. See, and that makes me think that, did they think that when RJ was found that they had him so fucking scared and shook that he wasn't going to talk about it?
George Cole Jr. was rushed from the Caddo County Detention Center Monday afternoon after he attempted to hang himself inside his cell. We know that he is now in a hospital receiving treatment. An ambulance with sirens blaring seen leaving the Caddo County Detention Center, allegedly carrying George Cole Jr. to an area hospital moments earlier. He went before a judge, hearing his 14 charges, including child abuse and neglect. Bond set at $2.5 million.
So he's still in critical condition, and for the ambulance to be leaving like that, I think that they were concerned about. I'm wondering if they found him and he wasn't breathing at all. He had been like that for a minute, and they got his heartbeat back, and they're trying to keep him from being brain dead so he can be held accountable. I backed it up. I mean, they're going fast. They're running the red lights. See, the light's red. They're running the red lights to try to get him there to the hospital so that he can be saved, so he can be held accountable. But, yeah, I'm hoping he does, but he's in critical condition as of right now, allegedly.
An ambulance with sirens blaring seen leaving the Caddo County Detention Center, allegedly carrying George Cole Jr. to an area hospital moments earlier. He went before a judge, hearing his 14 charges, including child abuse and neglect. Bond set at $2.5 million. Investigators say Cole used a taser, cattle probe, and nightstick to beat the boy. He's also accused of zip tying and handcuffing the child in their home. Kim Cole also faces many of the same charges for abuse, as well as 2 counts of crimes against nature. She allegedly forced her children to watch porn. Documents say both parents forced the boy to eat hot sauce as a punishment. The 2 were arrested days after they reported Cole's son missing in Chickasha.
He's built to survive. He's a survivor.
These 3 men, part of the United Cajun Navy, found the boy Sunday missing for 10 days.
Nobody could find him. He didn't want to be found.
They found him after 3 hours.
Even they said he did not want to be found. He heard the searchers looking for him, but at this point, he didn't want to be found because, I mean, why would you? If you trying to tell people about this fuck shit and nobody's listening to you, he's better off by himself out in the fucking 30-degree temperatures at night. Poor baby. I mean, I really, God, I hope he gets somebody that's going to understand him and be able to help him. I mean, and where do you even begin to start to try to help this child who's been through so much? Either one of them.
Focusing on an area near his family's land, already searched twice by law enforcement.
He had shelter.
We were kind of shocked because we just turned around and he was there in the open. So not what we were expecting, but we're glad it happened.
The team describing how the boy managed to stay undetected and fed for more than a week.
He was coming out of his hidey hole at night and refilling the one water bottle he had and kind of just scavenging around. There was like some hiking food, MRE type stuff that he had gotten into.
The rescuers bringing him to the hotel.
Remember the searchers saying that they put book bags out that had food and water and blankets? I wonder if he went and got them things, or I mean, if those weren't MREs, if they didn't leave MREs, then did he have MREs from before that he had taken to that area? And did that child walk 12 miles to get to his place of safety that he had created over time where he knew food was? What happens behind closed doors stays behind those doors mentally. It's how this keeps happening and keeps getting worse. Yeah. I think people do need to try to talk about it more. Because the more we know and the more educated we are on things like this, the better off everybody is. This is them bringing him out of the hotel and they're holding that sheet up so that he's protected. This was while everybody was cheering.
As a makeshift headquarters to get checked out. before he was taken to.
So y'all were right. The hotel, the headquarters was at the hotel, and that is what happened. Y'all were absolutely correct when you said that maybe they did find him at his parents' house and the hotel was the headquarters. And so they took him back to the headquarters of the operation, and then he was taken to the hospital. Y'all were exactly right on that. It is hard to talk about, though. I definitely agree. Unfortunately, I think it's the level of abuse that causes so many children to end up on the streets and in traffic. Absolutely. Absolutely. Unfortunately.
The hospital. Adria Goins, Oklahoma's News 4.
We are thankful for those rescuers. George Cole Jr., who is still in the hospital, is expected to be back in court in April.
So they're going to be back in court. Their next court date is April. So to recap, before I go for the day, because I've got several more things that I've got to get done, and I'm going to try to get a video out with this. When we go back to the beginning. For Kimberly Cole, she's got a child abuse class A3 felony for forcing RJ to eat hot sauce as punishment. She's got another count of child abuse, a class A3 felony for willfully and maliciously using unreasonable force against victim 2, who was under the age of 18 years old at the time, by placing her hands around victim 2's throat and choking her. Child abuse, a class A3 felony. This is count 3. That is for maliciously using unreasonable force on RJ, who was under the age of 18, by using zip ties and handcuffs to restrain him in the home overnight. Count 4, child SDX abuse, a class A3 felony, willfully and maliciously instructing victim 2, who was a minor child under the age of 18 years old at the time, by engaging victim 2 in sexual acts, specifically the defendant having sex with a canine. So basically forcing the other female child that was in her home to participate or somehow be involved with her having bestiality sessions. The mother. Okay, count 6. This is the mother. Another child SDX abuse charge. And this was for maliciously touching victim 2's breast and looking down her shirt in a lewd and malicious manner. Count 6, child neglect for not providing appropriate education. Count 7, child neglect for not providing a proper supervision. That proper supervision sticks out to me again because I think these children did the best that they could and had places they would run to, and I think the parents just didn't even look for them at all or anything, reported nothing. Count 8, child neglect. It's another child neglect, and that's another not providing appropriate education. Count 9, conspiracy, and that is agreeing with, that count is for agreeing with George Franklin Cole, the stepdad, to commit the crimes of child abuse as a person responsible for the child's health, safety, and welfare, and maliciously harmed a child under the age of 18. And said defendant and George Franklin Cole did abuse RJ in furtherance of this conspiracy. So basically she worked with George Cole to abuse these children. Count 10, crime against nature. She committed the detestable and abominable. Remember, we've talked about that a lot in the past couple of days. Detestable and abominable. That was the big thing with crimes against nature. Committed the detestable and abominable crime against nature by having unnatural and carnal copulation by committing sexual acts with a canine named Bear. You sick fucking bitch. So that was the mother. Now we're at the stepfather. Count 1, child abuse, class A3 felony. Used unreasonable force against RJ, who was under the age of 18, by using zip ties and handcuffs to restrain RJ in their home overnight. And then he's got an AFCF ×2 on each one, which basically ups the charge to possible imprisonment term in the Department of Corrections for 20 years to life. Count 2 is child abuse, a class A3 felony. He maliciously administered an electrical current with a taser on RJ, who was under the age of 18. Count 3. He stabbed RJ with a knife. Count 4 is child abuse. Willfully and maliciously forced RJ under the age of 18 years old to eat Louisiana hot sauce. Count 6, child abuse, class A felony for slamming RJ's head into the pickup truck. Count 4, child abuse, a class A3 felony for administering an electrical current with a taser on RJ. In Chickasha, Oklahoma, that's important because that's where the hotel was that they were going every Friday. Hey, Kalisa, good to see you. Count 7, child abuse, class A3 felony, maliciously striking RJ, who was under the age of 18 years old, with a nightstick. Count 8 is child abuse, class A3 felony. He used a cattle prod on AJ, causing AJ to lose a fucking tooth. And I'm going to put all this out in a video. Count 9 is child sex abuse. And that's the one that's hard for me to read, but I'm going to try to read it to you again. That willfully and maliciously sexually abusing victim 2, that's going to be the female, a child who was under the age of 18 years old at the time, with lewd acts by forcing or something, by something, victim 2 to view pornographic images depicting animals having sex with females. Now that count is for the female who was also being forced to somehow be involved with the mother having sex with the dog named Bear. Hallelujah said 2 Timothy chapter 3. I'll try to pull that up before we go. This is going to be a hard one. Count 10, child neglect for not providing RJ with proper education. Count 11, child neglect for not providing victim 2, the female, with proper education. Count 12, child neglect for failing to provide appropriate supervision for RJ. Count 13, pattern of criminal offenses, basically saying that 2 or more of these crimes were committed during one act or one session. For instance, possibly it could be something like RJ got in trouble for cussing and they used hot sauce on him to put in his mouth to teach him not to say bad words or whatever the fuck their excuse was for the fuck shit. And he also tased him at that time. Or RJ was zip tied and handcuffed and he also was tased at that time. That's what that means. Count 14 is conspiracy, a class 2 felony. The paper is cut off. However, with the mother's conspiracy charge, if we just substitute the George Franklin Cole name for the mother, it would read, and I'm thinking the conspiracy charge is going to read something like this because my copy is cut off. It would be something related to on or about the 1st day of January 2020 through the 31st day of December 2025 by conspiring and agreeing with Kimberly K. Cole to commit the crime of child abuse, a felony, as a person responsible for a child's health, safety, or welfare, willfully and maliciously harmed a child under the age of 18, and said defendant and Kimberly K. Cole did abuse RJ in furtherance of this conspiracy. This is some sick shit. And I hope these motherfuckers get everything they got coming to them in prison and in jail. I hope that George Franklin Cole did not succeed in taking his life. He is in critical condition right now at the hospital. I hope to God that he makes it out so he can be held accountable for these crimes, and we will keep up with this case. I will be doing everything I can to get more documents. I might can try to be in courtroom in April. I'll see what I can do. I don't know, but I would like to be there. I really would. I'd like to hear what the fuck they have to say or what their lawyers are going to say. Had so many over the years. I remember them all. Well, actually, I didn't get extensive therapy I needed until I got out of the house at 18. I don't have one currently. Well, you might need one, love. You might need one. I don't know. I think that we should all get some therapy, especially if you've endured some type of shit like this. That's horrible, and I'm so sorry you went through that. That's awful. Kalisa said it's terrible that all this was happening and they kept making this child go back to these parents. Absolutely. And that tells me why staying in a shelter with no food while it's literally freezing outside was better for him than going home. That's why he didn't come out when the searchers called his name, because he was scared that he was in trouble and that he was going to be put back in that environment. And he didn't want to do that. It was better to be outside in the elements, in the woods at night, in the dark at 30 fucking degrees. That was better for him than going home. That's horrible. Kat said, are they saying these kids never went to school, can't read or write? That's horrible. Yeah, they're saying they didn't provide them an education and they were homeschooled. Do you think we can mail a card to the sheriff's department and have them give it to RJ? Let him know people do love him and care about him. I can look into it. I'll write down to try to call them and see if we can send a card for him. Sheriff's office in Caddo County. Yeah, I'll call them and ask them. You know, I don't RJ, the way that community came together, this community's cement in Chickasha in Oklahoma, I think RJ knows that he's cared for and loved. Because it was a beautiful thing the way that those communities came together like that. It was a beautiful thing. And I think he knows that he is never going to have to go back there and that he's safe now. It just is insane to me that it took him going missing 9 days. If it had been any other child, well, not any other, but I mean, I don't know many 12-year-olds that can survive in freezing temperatures for 9 fucking days. I don't. I think it was supposed to happen that way, and I think that because RJ is so tough that that's how he survived. Yeah, I'll look into that too, Abelis. I'll see if they've got a GoFundMe set up or something. I'll ask the sheriff's department because they're the one that's going to know, because he's in state custody right now. And if we do donate to a GoFundMe or do something like that, I would want it to go to RJ or the people who are definitely going to be taking care of him. That I don't want it to go. No offense to the dad or the great aunt, but I wouldn't want it to go to them. I would want it to go straight to RJ or his caretakers. Yeah, I hope they rot forever. And I think the way the community came together, they're going to see to it that he does. All alone in the woods without a single person to trust. And how fucking sad is that for a child, a 12-year-old child, without a single person to trust? And the United Cajun Navy talks about MREs. Now, we not now that we've moved, because I've got to restock my stuff, but we are not like insane preppers, okay? But like I'm prepared for like, you know, a week of no electricity, right? And we had some MREs that were going bad and we ate them. So the kids, you know, because it's interesting, especially if you got little boys, they want to know, what does an army man's meal taste like, you know? And those MREs, like you gotta, like you rip the pouch open and it heats the food up and stuff. I'd be interested to know if RJ did all those things. Like, did he do it how it was supposed to be done? Was he heating up his food and eating it, or was it just opened? And, you know, did he actually know how to prepare the MREs? That would be interesting to know, because if I had to guess, I would probably say he did. He probably did know how to prepare the MREs and made himself the MREs to eat because he knew how to do that. I'd also like to know if them MREs were in the book bags that they were leaving out for him in case he did come across them, so he would have food and water. Yes, Biodab was searching for him that week, and that's important. And from my understanding, Biodab was put into jail or incarcerated, and that's why he had not been in RJ's life for the past 8 years, and that's important. However, if RJ's dad is unable to take him and take care of him, I don't blame RJ's dad for this at all. I mean, you can't help if you are incarcerated and you're not there and you don't know what's going on. You can't be held accountable for something you had no idea what's going on. And what father would think that the mother who bore the child would be doing this shit. I don't think he ever thought in a million years that she would be doing this. And I don't know why she did, because it seems like old George Cole there that tried to take his life was the one that was into bestiality and shit, and who probably got her into that shit. I really think there was drug use involved as well, but I don't think that the father thought for a fucking New York second that the mother would do this to him. However, if RJ's father cannot take him because of charges, because of this, that, or the third, I just want to make sure RJ gets the money or it goes to his care. If he can go and be with his father, then if we donate, if I find a GoFundMe or find a way to donate to him, I would have no problem with it going to his father. I just would like to make sure before I share a GoFundMe that it goes to RJ or to his care. You know what I mean? To pay for some therapy, pay for some food, some school supplies, some clothes, something other than fucking steel-toed boots on a 12-year-old. I get it, but them fucking boots hurt. They hurt. Like that poor baby out there. Boots are heavy too. And the bio dad might not be able to have the means to care for him right now either, but hopefully he'll be able to stay involved in his life. And that's what's most important. Even if his biological dad can't care for him right now, at least he can be involved. You know, that's really important. I'm a prepper. Are you a prepper too? It's good to be prepared in case you lose electricity or anything. Yeah, that would be cool. If I could crochet one quick enough, I would too. Poor baby. All right, y'all, I'm going to end it here for today because, like, what do I say after that? I've got a lot of things that I need to get done too, and I'm going to get a video out going over these charges. If the person who gave me these documents is watching, I do appreciate you so very much for getting me those documents, but I'm not going to reveal my sources. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for the support. Please keep RJ in your thoughts and prayers, and pray that he gets the extensive therapy that he's going to need, and victim too, his sister. I do believe it is. It's what makes the most sense. She might be over the age of 18 now, but pray that she gets the help that she needs to. You stay safe too, Max. All right, y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. Until then, stay safe and know that you are important, you are enough, you are special, and you are loved. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. And we will talk about those documents on Sebastian. I just don't want to mix Sebastian in this case. All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.